Hi everyone, it's Kate from Inside Out for Kids. I just wanted to do a really short video blog today about helping kids with deep breathing. It's one of those things that 2020 has taught us a lot is the value of deep breathing, and there's quite a lot out there that can really help you with that. But what I've noticed is when kids are really emotional and a little bit dysregulated and really overwhelmed, that as adults we can come into that space and say, just take a deep breath. And what we really want is for them to be able to get to a position where they can use words and tell us what's bothering them, and then we can help them with that. So we ask them to take this deep breath as a way of just calming their body down so they can get the words out. But sometimes kids will take one big breath or try and take a deep breath when we ask them to do that, and then we'll say, well, that didn't work, or still feel wound up and feel like it hasn't done anything. So what they end up doing is feeling like we're just killing time. We don't know what to do, so we're just telling them to take a deep breath while we wait. When actually there's quite a lot of science behind it. There's really good reasons why we ask kids to take deep breaths when they're upset, and why it's good for us to take deep breaths when we're upset as well. And that's because when we are really emotionally overwhelmed, or anxious, or we feel like we're not safe emotionally, our brain has registered that and it's put us into survival mode. And what deep breathing does is assure your body and your brain that actually you're not in danger and you're not unsafe. So it restores that safety, and then some of that stress response can start to reverse and calm down and come back into a place where kids can talk again. So there's a really good reason why deep breathing works, but there's a few things that you have to do really well in order for it to work. So what I've discovered with primary school age kids is they really like fairness. You know, when they're playing sports or games, they really like the fact that there's rules and that everybody has to stick to the rules. So I've come up with this language that says, okay, well, when we do our deep breathing, you can't cheat. And then I tell them what it is that are things that we can cheat with when we're trying to take deep breaths. So the first one is, you have to take 5 deep breaths. You can't just take one, that's cheating. You have to take 5 or 2 minutes worth. And if it hasn't worked, you can do another 5. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that they need to make sure that the air goes all the way to the belly button. So sometimes when I tell kids, okay, we're going to take some deep breaths, I see their shoulders go up like this. And I can tell that the air is only going to this part of their lungs. And then sometimes that can actually make them feel dizzy or a little bit lightheaded, so it doesn't really help them. So we need to coach them that the air goes slowly all the way down, and that muscle above their belly button should pop out a little bit. There's lots of different ways to do this on the internet as well. I've seen people put little paper boats on their belly and lie down so that the boat has to go up and down on the waves. You can hold it. Sesame Street has a lovely song called Belly Breathing, which teaches the really little ones to be able to do it as well. But they need to breathe in so that the air goes all the way down their lungs into the bottom. To help them do that, one of the things I say is that you need to breathe through your nose. It is possible to do proper deep breathing through your mouth, but I've seen a tendency in kids that it starts to knock that technique a little bit. So when they start to do like that, that's when I see the shoulders go up. So it's really helpful to make one of the rules that they have to breathe through their nose, because it forces the air to go all the way to the belly button, like we said before. Okay, the third thing that's cheating is not taking the right amount of seconds. So there's a pattern to deep breathing that we give kids that helps them take it for long enough for it to be effective. So I like the 3-4-5 pattern, which is you breathe in for 3 seconds, you hold and just pause in that spot for 4 seconds, and then you breathe out for 5 seconds. And what I've noticed is that when kids are worked up, when they breathe out, they tend to breathe out really quickly. So it's letting it out little bit that helps the body and the brain register that there's safety there and reverse some of that overwhelmed feeling. So some kids, it's the image of blowing bubbles that helps, that long slow breath. Blowing a hot chocolate to cool it down. So there's little tips and tricks and language that we can use with them to help them do that. But it's good to say, oh, you have to take 5 seconds or it's cheating. So there's other patterns out there on the internet. There's really great shapes you can use. There's one where you trace your fingers. There's one where you trace a star or a figure 8. So it doesn't really matter what pattern you use as far as how many seconds in, hold for so many seconds, how many seconds out. But the fourth thing that they have to remember about deep breathing is the exhale has to be longer than the inhale. And that's science. When the exhale is longer, the part of the brain that registers a lack of safety or danger starts to register that safety has come back in again, and it will calm everything down. So those things again, you can't cheat with your deep breathing. You've got to take 5 at least, or 2 minutes worth. The air has to go all the way to your belly button, and the best way to do that is to breathe in through your nose. You have to breathe for the right amount of seconds. You can't do a quick one. It has to take a long time. And the fourth thing is that exhale needs to be longer than the inhale. So I hope that helps you guide the kids that you work with or the kids in your family through some deep breathing when they're in that really heightened state. Okay, good luck. Bye.